All right, everyone. So normally I don't do 2 videos in a day, but FFG just dropped some absolutely massive news. I know I want to sit here and play Star Wars Limited all day and make videos for you all, but I got things to do. Those things got to be put on hold because we just got an absolute bomb. Okay. New rotation is coming way sooner than I had initially thought. And also we have some updates to some card rarities / booster packs. So first off, let's talk about the rarity adjustments because that's like a minor announcement. That's really cool, actually. And then we'll talk about the absolute bomb that is set rotation coming way sooner than expected. So set rarity adjustments, basically they're saying that they're going to have more common cards, less rare cards, and more legendary cards in the future sets. Basically what they're saying is that the rares are going to be slightly more rare and each legendary is going to be slightly less rare in packs. Not like a huge difference. As I said, it's kind of just like, okay, minor adjustments in terms of overall sets, and you're still going to have the same pack makeup, right? 9 commons, 3 uncommons, a rare, legendary, etc., etc. But the other cool thing about the new packs is that you're going to be able to obtain S rarity, so starter deck rarity cards in booster packs as of Jump to Lightspeed. Now, I don't know how crazy impactful this is. Besides obviously getting like some really impactful only S rarity cards, that also means that things like, for example, if you're looking at like set 2 with phase 3 Dark Trooper, you're going to be able to see those in your draft pods, which is kind of cool. They're not extremely common. They're going to be pretty rare, but since we'll be able to obtain them in your normal booster packs, this gives you an out to not just buying singles or buying the starter decks or whatever version of their starter decks will be, because they are changing them going forward. So that's pretty cool. But a minor adjustment that does, I think improve booster packs. But let's talk about set rotation, okay? So we already knew this was coming. I've been talking about this for a long time. Heck, I made like 2 videos over the past month talking about set rotation and, a response to that video because so many of you had talked about rotation in general. But here, they're talking about, we're finally ready to explain how set rotation will work for our game. At most, up to 6 sets will be legal for the Premier format at any time. Sets rotate out in batches of 3, with each batch belonging to a specific year of the game. For example, once the game's 7th set releases, Spark of Rebellion, Shadows of the Galaxy, and Twilight of the Republic will all rotate out at the same time. To make it easier to keep track of which sets will rotate at the same time, all sets from Jump to Lightspeed onward will have a rotation symbol on their cards. And you can see this here. This was a new rotation symbol that we kind of spoke about when we had talked about rotation. It was something that people were speculating about. Sets in the same batch will have all this little symbol, and this symbol will be referenced in future updates in the tournament regulations. You'll always know which sets are legal and which ones are not. The first 3 sets don't have a symbol, so you should consider blank to be their set rotation symbol. If some of your favorite cards in sets that rotate out, don't fret. Once the first set rotation happens, we will also launch the Eternal format, in which all release sets for the game will always be legal. And yes, there will be official organized play support for the Eternal format. Even beyond that, if a card was reprinted in booster packs for a Premier legal set, then all versions of that card are legal, even those that were part of a previous set. And that's it. That's it. All right, let's break this down. First up, the fact that it rotates out as soon as set 7. So I spoke about this, how, okay, once we have like 6 or so sets, rotating 1 set out won't be that big of a deal. So honestly, in terms of speed, it's faster than I would have thought. I would have thought like 6 sets would be the bare minimum. I would have expected to wait a little bit longer. So it is happening quicker than I would have expected. But what's more insane is that they're going to be rotating out an entire year worth of cards. So if you think about it, at most, we will be having 6 sets in any given period of the Premier format, 2 full years. At minimum, we will have 4 sets in a rotation. We have the first 3 from a year, as we do right now. We're going to get Jump to Lightspeed. We're going to get Legends of the Force, and then I forget whatever the 6th set is named. Those will all be in the same format. As soon as that 7th set is revealed and put out into legal play, the first 3 sets, Spark of Rebellion, Shadows of the Galaxy, and Twilight of the Republic, will be gone, which means that only 4 sets will be legal. So 4 to 6 sets in any given time period of the Premier set. This is really crazy. And it's kind of weird how they're doing it, because what that also means is that the 3rd set of that year gets the least amount of time involved in the Premier format, right? If you think about it, Spark Rebellion, let's say it's released on day 1, 6 months later or 9 months later, whatever it is, we have that third set of that year. Well, suddenly it's probably 8 months later, actually, the third set of that year, we lose essentially that 8-month time period with that third set. So Twilight Republic, it was released the soonest as of right now, and it's also going to rotate the same time that Spark Rebellion does. I'm not sure how I feel about this. I think it would have been more interesting to have like a rotation every set, like have 6 sets maximum in any given Premiere format, and then just rotate the last set out. But that can also be a little bit frightening for players because it means that rotation's happening every single time a new set is printed, and that's a little bit risky. So I don't know if that's necessarily the way to go. Granted, it's not surprising that the set that was released the soonest, in this case Twilight Republic, is going to be having less time in the format. That actually is pretty typical. In other rotation formats, just a couple of sets just get the shaft, I suppose, in terms of being able to be played in your Premiere format. The thing that I am really excited about, and the thing that I said must happen if they are going to do a rotation, is the launch of a new format. This new format is going to be extremely exciting. Even if you're not someone that enjoys rotation, it is extremely cool. You might just want to be an Eternal format player. And if they do this right, both formats should be popular and should be exciting. Because if you're someone that's like, I don't care for rotation, well, guess what? You're going to get an official competitive play version of essentially what in Magic we call vintage, where all of your cards are legal. And that means that you don't have to care about the rotation. Granted, you do need to be paying attention to which events you attend because some of them won't have all of your cards legal, but you'll be able to play them in competitive events. And I will definitely be doing a mix of both of these as they come closer, because that's just what I like to do. I like to play all the formats, just play the game. I'm sure for me, I will tend to enjoy the Eternal format a little bit more because there's going to be way more options and things happening. But that also means that if, let's say, the Eternal format is not as popular, then it's going to be a lot trickier to hold value for some cards, right? The first initial sets are going to be significantly less valuable if Eternal format is not popular, which is a concern for some people. I suppose the biggest thing is depending on how people really, really approach this new format and how good the sets are. If their consistency is high, this rotation decently frequently, basically every 2 years, right? You're going to see these sets. Like, for example, Spark Rebellion is going to last for, well, it's already lasted for a year, and then it's going to last for another year before it gets rotated out. That consistent rotation, 2 years of these sets, or rather, either 2 years or a year and 4 months. If their set consistency is high, then it'll be fun to see the new format that appears. And that also means that for metas that involve things that people absolutely hate, you're going to get a refresher, which is kind of nice. I don't see this as a bad thing in terms of just enjoyment for the game and the health of the game. One of the big things with trading card games, and for those of you that may not be used to this, this is kind of the lifeblood of the game. Being able to rotate out and not seeing the same cards, being able to see new metas. It is an extremely fun time, and I'm sure it'll be an extremely fun time at the end of every year where you see literally 3 sets just drop off the face of the earth in Premiere format. And then for those of you that do like the massive potential of building whatever you want, that Eternal format is going to be the place to go. So to me, this is exactly how I would have rolled it out in terms of overall creating a new set, rotating out the sets, making a big change at certain times. The only thing that I find a little bit interesting is, well, how soon it's happening. And I guess you could say how small the format actually will be. 3 to 4 sets, or I should say 4 sets, is a pretty small format. So I'm surprised that they're only going to 4 to 6 sets. Maybe we'll see something different in the future, but we're looking at around 1,100 cards in any given Premiere format. That's definitely on the lower end of cards available. So I suppose that could be a concern, and I'm curious to hear what you all have to say. I know for me, I I like both. I like playing the whole every card format, and I do that very frequently. And I enjoy seeing all the potential of that. At the same time, I like to have limitations on my deck sometimes because that also involves a whole different creative process. So I probably will steer towards Eternal format in terms of my personal enjoyment, but I'm excited to play both. And I generally do play as many different formats as I possibly can. Heck, my personal favorite format, outside of just standard constructed or just constructed in general, is draft. It always has been. I love drafting. I love building a deck and making proper draft decisions and building out of what's absolute garbage, but everyone doing the same thing. And of course, taking my cards and hoping for some good ones, of course. So that's exciting to me. And this just makes another format for me. So I'm excited about that. But I'm curious to hear what you all have to say about the new rotation. Is it too soon? Are you excited for it? I definitely suggest thinking about this a little bit because immediately I know the initial reaction is generally my cards are rotating out. And that is unfortunate. And that will always be an unfortunate truth if you are someone who enjoys Premiere. And so let me know what you think. And of course, at the end of the day, I will always make videos about what I see in the community. And that is just something that I will always do. If you all hate this, I will make a video showcasing that and telling FFG that there are problems with this. If you all think it's pretty average, like there are goods, there are bads, then that's a pretty, standard response. I'm sure there's pros and cons to certain people for this. If you are all about this, well, let's talk about that as well. Because at the end of the day, all we can do is give our feedback. For me, I am definitely a little bit more positive in terms of rotation in general, but I know people are not. So without, repeating myself another million times, I'm interested to hear what you all have to say. Thank you for watching. I know this is a little bit of a ramble. It just kind of popped up as soon as I got home, and I wanted to make a video about it. So I'll see you all for the next one.